Well, these Chalk Talks are so much more fun after wins, and the Seahawks finding, well, a unique way to win on Sunday. And yet this Chalk Talk was a little bit more challenging this week, to be honest with you. And it wasn't because the offense didn't get it going. And Russell had an excellent day passing and nearly 300 yards and good distribution to Jimmy and the rest of the crew. But a lot of it was pretty simple. You take what the defense gives you in the passing game. A lot of zone coverage from Atlanta, lots of easy completions. The other challenge, and I think why I picked a run play in particular, is because the run game has been an issue. You're number 30th in the league right now. And this is the big number. You're 30th in the league at 3.1 yards a carry. And that over the course of a season is not good enough. This is not going to be a run-first team. Pete Carroll's made that abundantly clear. This is going to be a balanced football team. But 57% pass to 43% run, finding a hard time getting consistent yardage. There's got to be a run game fix. So instead of being negative and look at all the negative run plays, I'm going to put on my best Pete Carroll hat that I can, and that's find the positive. And it certainly was early in this game. Seahawks get the fumble, the sack fumble, Cliff Averill. You get a sudden change environment. This is 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. You saw the Seahawks later in the game try to run the ball in a similar circumstance and not nearly as well as they did on this first occasion. So after the sudden change, 1st and 9, a minute to go, 0-0, and you're going to come up and you're going to come into a very familiar 3-by-1 set. If you've watched these Seahawks for years, and you're going to continue to see it this season, 3 receivers to the one on the other side, and that's most often Jimmy Graham. And this formation does a bunch of things football-wise. It makes the defense declare. It's much easier to get that man zone read. When that cornerback does not come over, Russell Wilson knows this is zone, something that he saw an awful lot. This is a great formation to do your zone read out of. This is a great formation to run your bubble screen. It's a great formation to get Jimmy Graham in a one-on-one. So this 3-by-1, you see the Seahawks in an awful lot. What I like about this 3-by-1 with a hobbled quarterback is instead of doing zone read, well, they just run right at them. They run their zone concept right at Atlanta, and there's 3 guys to keep in mind. Players, formations, plays. I give you the formation. The player is to get this guy a crease. He's become the feature back, and he's above this 3.1. He's about 4 yards a carry, so he's not, to me, been the issue. But how do I get him a crease? How do I get him a lane? And ultimately, how do I make a play in the run game? And this was as good as it gets. And if I'm Pete Carroll, and I'm Tom Cable, this is the play that I want these guys thinking about. In particular, Gary Gilliam, absolutely my rookie that struggled. Even Pete Carroll said as much, that Jermaine had a rough game, not on this play, but a rough game throughout. And this is also a big-time block by Doug Baldwin. Zone concept, 4-2, nickel front. It's zone coverage. Corner does not come over, and they run their just zone concept. And in so doing, well, Gary Gilliam wins first. And this is a man block. He's got a one-on-one, and he can't get penetration. He can't get beat. He's got to own him one-on-one, and he does just that. And that's not an easy job to do. In fact, opens the crease. Number 2 is a little combo block here between Britt and Ifedi. And they do a wonderful job of this relationship, of feeling that tackle, of knowing when to pass him off, and Justin's able to cross his face to help create that seam. And you'll remember this one. Ifedi hits here, and he eventually pancakes the safety into the end zone. But none of this happens without this guy. And a guy that will never complain, didn't get as many touches and targets as Jimmy Graham. You tell me a better slot receiver in knocking down a linebacker. Go watch the play. He knocks him down. Doesn't just block him. He knocks and cuts his legs out, cuts him to the ground, gives Christian Michael an opportunity to find success in the run game in the NFL. It's not just one guy. It's not just one block. In college, you can get away with that. At the NFL level, you need Gilliam. You need the combo block, and you need Doug Baldwin doing his job. Those 3 guys in the sudden change environment will provide the first points of the game. And let's hope from a run game standpoint, the Seahawks begin to see even more of this.